What's up, YouTube? Zach's back with another attack, and today I want to talk about the green thing that makes the world go round. We're talking about money. But first, it is Wednesday, my dudes. Zach's back with another attack, so come on in and just relax. Hit subscribe and join the fun. You're Zach to the future now, son. How is it going, YouTube? Like I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about money today, and not only what it's used for, but also a little bit about, is it important? Why is it important? Do you need money? This may seem a little silly on the base level because, of course, you need money, and the government does everything because of money, and like I said, money really makes the world go round. But do you need it? After all, there is civilizations of people who have gone out into the wilderness with no money, and they simply live on their own. You can eat things from trees, you can live naked if you have to, but you can also make clothes out of hemp or plants or other things you find. You can use the same clothes multiple times. Even living just very, very cheap is possible. After all, the dollar store does sell clothes, you can get hand-me-downs for free. There is a world of possibilities to talk about within the subset of money. But when you talk about money, I think you also have to talk about happiness and the ratio of it comparing to money. The ratio of money to happiness is important because some people feel they need a lot of money to live as happily as they possibly can, whereas other people seem to find that happiness is very separate from money. I think in general people kind of fall somewhere in the middle where they have the money to live and to pay bills, get them how they need to live, and then fun can come externally or extra money can go towards fun things. One perfect example of this is YouTube. For me, YouTube is not anything that's making me money, but it is a huge passion of mine. For example, I have been doing YouTube since January, so in the last 9 months of doing YouTube, yeah, there was some time in the middle where I was not making content because of school and life anyway. I have made $1.23 in the last 9 months on YouTube. Obviously, it's not profitable. You can't even take money from YouTube, from Google, until you've made $100. So I am just over 1/100th of the way to making anything from YouTube, and 1/100th is very, very small. If somebody told you you could work your butt off, which I have been on YouTube, for 9 months and make $1.23, would you do it? Probably not, unless it's something you're passionate about, have fun doing, and truly love. And if that's the case, then money doesn't matter. So in that situation, I do believe that you can live without money. That said, I think that there's a lot of passions and fun things that do require money, and again, YouTube's kind of one of them, because while money is not a factor of me doing YouTube, as far as making money, I have spent money. All of my food reviews you've seen, I have had to buy that food myself, which adds up. Before I could even start making videos on YouTube, I had to spend money on a good computer, and that was not cheap either. And then of course you've got the camera equipment that I use, you've got the editing equipment that I use. Soon I'm gonna be buying a microphone for YouTube. And it really just adds up. You have to spend money, and I know there's a saying, you gotta spend money to make money, but that's not always true. Sometimes you spend money and you don't make any money. Alternatively, there's such passions such as snowboarding, you know, that cost money. There's such passions as traveling the world. Do you know how much money that costs? It's crazy expensive. Maybe you're a car collector. Maybe you just really like Apple products. I mean, there's so many things that just cost money, and if that's something you're really into, it takes money to do it, and you don't always make money from it. So, in that situation, money is important. But the real question is, do you need money? Can you live without Apple products? Absolutely. Can you live without going snowboarding? Can you live without doing YouTube? Yes, yes, and yes. Obviously, you can live without all of these things, and it is possible to live without money regarding those. But as you can see, I'm in a house right now, and that requires either a mortgage payment or rent. Unless, of course, you live with your parents or something, so maybe you can bypass that for now, but eventually that will become an issue. Once you have a house, you've got electric payments, water payments, gas maybe, and then you've got your phone bill. You've got a car payment maybe, at least gas for your car. Or if nothing else, a bus pass. You might need to buy shoes even if you walk everywhere. It's very hard to live with no money. That doesn't mean people don't do it, but in the modern society we live in, it's hard to live without any money at all. But what about food? There was this gas station when I was a kid and they had a dispenser for hot dogs and nachos and other things like that, and it dispensed chili and cheese. And they didn't monitor it. It said free, which it was mainly free if you got these nachos and if you got the hot dogs or whatever, and I would just go and take a cup and fill it with cheese and chili, stir it all together, and it was a great meal, absolutely free. Alternatively, there's a lot of websites where you can have free coupons to get free food. You can get birthday coupons for things. One time I even stood in line for 3 hours before a taco place opened its doors for the first time ever and got a year's worth of free tacos. So there is definitely ways to get around having to buy food. But what about besides food? For shelter, you could live at homeless shelters, you could stay with friends or family. You could live in a cardboard box, but I don't recommend it in Indiana. You've got cold winters, Arizona, you've got hot summers, and it's not really ideal. One thing I have always wondered is it possible to live in a storage unit which you have to pay for, or better yet, could you live in a Walmart? The most famous story of people living in Walmart is of a couple living in the attic in a Tennessee Walmart, and they had a hot pad and were cooking meth and had basically taken a surround system and TV and satellite and all this other crazy stuff and taken it to the attic of a Walmart. Walmarts don't have attics. This story is fake news. And all in all, it's hard to live in a Walmart. That said, some people have actually done it. They found a teen in a Kentucky Walmart who had lived there for around 4 days. He set up a little campsite behind strollers and in another undisclosed location in the store, and he was stealing food, changing his clothes from the clothes they had there, and he avoided being caught for at least 4 days. Another person who was a homeless woman lived in the Walmart for at least 2 days, and she just slept in one of the entrance areas and by the layaway area. After being told to leave several times and refusing, the cops were called and she was kicked out. The main problem there was she had a drinking problem, and I don't know if she was belligerent or just was bringing alcohol, maybe stealing alcohol. Either way, there was issues with people living in these stores, whether it was stealing, drinking. Even in the made-up story, people were cooking meth. But what if you lived there peacefully? What if you slept in the bathrooms, you left during the day to do whatever you needed to do, money free, maybe you went to a gas station and got free chili, went to the Del Taco and got free food there. You could even find pieces of change on the ground and be fine. Obviously, this is all very hypothetical, and money is very important. It would be unrealistic to live in Walmart, to live in a storage unit, to live money free, really. You need a job. You need to get a house. you need to have a car, you need to do what you need to do to make ends meet. And I think that it is a good thing to realize that money isn't everything. That's the whole point of this video. Even though it's a little unrealistic, money's not everything, and there's alternative ways to make ends meet if money is tight. But you need to know that your fun and your happiness can come first, and if it takes money, either arrange your budget to where things work out, or make it a higher priority, or get a better job to where you can do things that you enjoy. One thing I've found working where I'm working now is that it's long hours, it's hard work. I'm getting paid great though, and they, for the most part, take care of their employees. While there is massive overtime sometimes, the money is also great, and when I'm not working that overtime and when I do have free time, I'd have the money to do what I need. And not to mention, my car has been having a lot of issues. I just spent $500 on getting the brakes fixed, and then when I was driving to work today, my radiator exploded and it was leaking everywhere, smoke coming out like crazy. There's a security guard in front of the building you have to pass to get into the parking lot, and he thought it was crazy, waved me on, but my car was just blowing smoke like a dragon. And so there's alternative ways to get things done, and you need to have the money to afford life, but you need to have the happiness to enjoy life. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Zach. Don't do crack, and I'll see you in the future.